Over the past several years, drug shortages have become an increasingly prevalent problem in the United States. Some of the products on the Food and Drug Administration's list of current drug shortages are cytarabine, propofol, and methylphenidate. So are multivitamin preparations, calcium gluconate, and other components of total parenteral nutrition. The FDA held a one-day meeting to discuss this problem and possible solutions to prevent or at least alleviate current and future shortages. Attending the meeting were oncologists, anesthesiologists, and other clinicians, as well as patients who have been affected by drug shortages. Pharmacists and drug manufacturers were among the other groups represented. Speakers made it clear that these shortages have resulted in treatment delays, increased costs, and the use of less effective alternatives. Shortages of oncology drugs have also led to postponed or canceled clinical trials of new treatments. And as drug safety expert Mike Cohen said at the meeting, shortages have resulted in medication errors, which can have serious, sometimes fatal consequences.
We've had a real problem with drug shortages. Patients can't get medications that they would normally take for a specific condition. It's particularly affected cancer patients. Many of the drugs that we have on well-tested regimens that can actually cure patients are no longer available or are in short supply. So it's really a mess out there. We have had incidents, for example, with epinephrine. There used to be, at one time, there was a shortage of pre-filled syringes of emergency drugs, including epinephrine. And that led a lot of locations, including the EMTs, boxes, and ambulances, et cetera, to store the 1 milligram, 1 to 1,000 ampules. And unfortunately, when you give intravenous epinephrine, and the syringe is actually pre-diluted to 10 milliliters of 1 to 10,000. So it's a tenfold dilution. Unfortunately, we had quite a few cases where people forgot to dilute the drug. They gave it straight. And we even had one case where 10 1 milliliter doses from a 10 milliliter vial were actually drawn up, but it was actually 10 milligrams. And obviously, that's not very good for the myocardium. We had others, for example, we had a situation with an antibiotic called amikacin, where a patient with Pseudomonas aeruginosa was only sensitive to that drug. And that was in short supply, and unfortunately the patient couldn't be treated, and that was a fatal event as well.
Speaking for the American Academy of Pediatrics at the meeting, neonatologist Dr. Duane Persley described the impact shortages have had in pediatrics and also proposed some solutions.
TPN, total parental nutrition, that is life-saving for children, including young infants who don't have the ability to take foods enterally. Have experienced that compounding challenge. And these are fairly simple products, things that somebody with a chemistry set could put together, yet they're not available in the quantities and in the formulations that are absolutely necessary for safe compounding of those medications. But we wonder if we could take some lessons from the model for vaccine stockpiling that the CDC has utilized, and apparently to a good effect. That is, can we identify the critical drugs that are used in pediatrics, and can we take measures to ensure that they would be available in an emergency? We wonder if there might be some opportunities utilizing that model.
At the end of the day, the serious public health implications of drug shortages were clear. Not as clear was how to solve the problem.
I think there have been a number of great suggestions made by physicians, pharmacists, nurses, and I hope FDA will take all of them back and consider what they can do, what maybe they have to work with other agencies to do. But I feel like we're starting to make progress. It's taken a long time to get this going, longer than it should have, I think, but I think we're going to get there. I do.